But if you keep doing the old policies, it's not change, right? So what stands in the way of Obama and the Democratic Party, and what stands in the way of them really going all out for a social and economic program that will fulfill the promise of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Well, I can think of two things that stand in the way. Maybe there are more, but I can only think of two things at a time. Well, one of them is simply the great powerful economic interests that don't want real economic change. Really, they don't. The powerful, I mean, you take in healthcare, there are powerful interests involved in the present healthcare system. People are making lots of money from the healthcare system as it is, making so much money, and that's why the costs of the healthcare system in the United States are double what the healthcare costs are. The percentage, of money devoted to healthcare, percentage is double administrative costs in the United States compared to countries that have the single-payer system, because there are people there who are siphoning off this money, who are making money. Their health plans, their insurance companies, their health executives and CEOs, so that there are interests, economic interests that are in the way of real economic change. And Obama so far has not challenged those economic interests. Roosevelt did challenge those economic interests boldly, right frontally. He called them economic royalists. He wasn't worried that people would say, oh, you're appealing to class conflict, the kind of thing they pull out all the time, as if there hasn't always been class conflict. There's something new, class conflict. You're creating class conflict. We've never had class conflict. We've always all been one happy family, no. So, there are these interests standing, in the way. And, unfortunately, the Democratic Party is tied to many of those interests. The Democratic Party is tied to a lot of corporate interests. I mean, you look at the people who are on Obama's economics team, and they're Goldman Sachs people, and they're former, people like that, That's not... They don't represent change. They represent the old-style Democratic stay-put leadership. It's not good. So the other factor that stands in the way of a real, bold economic and social program is the war. The thing that a $600 billion military budget. Now, how can you call for the government to take over the healthcare system? How can you call for the government to give jobs to millions of people? How can you do all that? How can you offer free education, free higher education, which is what we should have, really? We should have free higher education. Well, how can you... how can you double teacher salaries, and how can you do all these things which will do away with poverty in the United States? It all costs money, and so where's that money going to come from? Well, it can come from two sources. One is the tax structure. And here Obama been moving in the right direction. When he talked about not giving the rich tax breaks and giving tax breaks to the poor, in the right direction, but not far enough. Because the top 1% of the richest 1% of the country has gained several trillions of dollars in the last 20, 30 years as a result of the tax system, which has favored them. And, you know, you have a tax system where 200 of the richest corporations pay no taxes. You know that? You can't do that. You don't have their accountants. You don't have their legal teams and so on and so forth. You don't have their loopholes. The war, $600 billion. We need that. We need that money. But in order to say that, in order to say, well, one, we're going to increase taxes on the super rich much more than Obama has proposed, and believe me, it won't make those people poor. They'll still be rich. They just won't be super rich. I don't care if there's some rich people around. But, you know, no, we don't need super rich, not when that money is needed to take care of little kids in preschool, and there's no money for preschool. No. We need a radical change in the tax structure, which will immediately free huge amounts of money to do the things that need to be done, and then we have to get money from the military budget. Well, how do you get money from the military budget? Don't we need $600 billion for the military budget? And don't we have to fight 2 wars? No. We don't have to fight any wars. You know, and this is where Obama and the Democratic Party have been hesitant, you know, to talk about. But we're not hesitant to talk about it. The citizens should not be hesitant to talk about it. If the citizens are hesitant to talk about it, they will just reinforce the Democratic leadership and Obama in their hesitations. No, we have to speak what we believe is the truth, and I think the truth is we should not be at war. We should not be at war at all. I mean, these wars are absurd. They're horrible. Also, they're horrible and they're absurd. You know, from a human point of view, they're horrible. You know, the deaths and the mangled limbs and the blindness and the 3 million people in Iraq losing their homes, having to leave their homes. 3 million people. Imagine having to look elsewhere to live because of our occupation, because of our war for democracy, our war for liberty, our war for whatever it is we're supposed to be fighting for. No, we don't need. We need a president who will say, yeah, I'm giving advice to Obama. I know he's listening. But, you know, if enough people speak up, he will listen, right? If enough people speak up, he will listen. You know, well, there's much more of a chance of him listening, right, than those other people. They're not listening. They wouldn't listen. Obama could possibly listen if we, all of us, and the thing to say is, we have to change our whole attitude as a nation towards war, militarism, violence. We have to declare that we are not going to engage in aggressive wars. We are going to renounce the Bush doctrine of preventive war. Oh, we have to go to, you know, we have to go to war on this little pitiful country, because this little pitiful country might someday do what? Attack us? I mean, Iraq might attack us? Well, they're developing a nuclear weapon, one, which they may have in 5 or 10 years. That's what all the experts said, even the experts on the government side. You know, they may develop one nuclear weapon in 5 years. Wow. The United States has 10,000 nuclear weapons. Nobody says, how about us? You see, they're going to, you know, but, you know, you know all about that. Weapons of mass destruction.